So on day 2 of this first grade teacher trial, the one where the first grade teacher, Abigail Zwerner, is suing the assistant principal, Ebony Parker, Dr. Ebony Parker, for failure to take action when she was notified on numerous occasions that a child, a 6-year-old, had a gun. That gun went off. The 6-year-old ended up shooting Abigail Zwerner, his teacher, and she lived. That's why she's suing everybody. But the bullet went through her hand into her left chest. We're going to talk about some more of her injuries today. Several different witnesses. I have put up a separate video of her testimony alone if you want to go listen to that. I will tell you, I am behind the regular feed. In the regular feed, they have already had jury instructions, and as I'm speaking, they're doing closing arguments, but we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get caught up by the weekend, I guarantee you. And if you're watching and you want to leave a comment, I love your comments, but let's not spoil it for everybody else who watches all these on the weekends. A lot of my subscribers binge watch this stuff on the weekends, so let's not spoil it for them if they haven't watched all the episodes yet. So I did want to tell you, I got to play this introduction first, and then we'll get right into this. Hi, everybody. Good morning. Welcome back to Crafting and Crime Daily. I'm Rebecca, your host. Christmas is starting to happen. Look, I'll get my ghetto finger stick out. Look, right there. We put up and it's not a diamond painting. It's just a thing. And behind my symbol up here, you can't see it because my symbol is right there. There's actually a pumpkin painting of the door there. But I'm going to put the Christmas tree right here. Yeah. It's going to look so awesome. All right. I just love this ghetto finger stick. This was actually meant for school teachers, by the way. Speaking of school teachers, yeah, this is actually a school teacher's dream. Put the gun away. Okay. Before I take the stick and whack you with it. All right. Day 2. We got a first responder who she came on the scene and she basically stuck with Abigail Zwerner, the victim. Wherever Abby went, she went with her. She was consoling her, reassuring her. At one point, Abby's like, "Can you just tell me a story?" She's trying so hard to distract herself from the ungodly amount of pain she must have been in, having just been shot. The second witness was a first responder who was one of the first to arrive on the scene. They played some body cam footage, like 10 seconds of body cam footage. We didn't see much at all. And it's basically him running into the office. You don't really see anything. And the only reason the plaintiff lawyers showed it was to show you where Ebony Parker's office was. When, what did you see her? Was she there when you came in? Yes, she was standing there. She was facing me. She was at her desk. She was on her computer. All right. Did she ever leave the computer, Miss Ebony Parker? In any case, Amy Kovac, Karen. I am lovingly calling you Karen because I would never call anybody anything without doing it lovingly. Anyway, Amy Kovac, she is attending to the student, the shooter. She's actually got the shooter right there with him in the office. She's like cradling him in her arms. Now the gun is not there. And Amy says, I've got him under control. His gun is in classroom 11. And so he proceeds, as first responder, to go down to classroom 11 and get the gun. And he was able to locate the firearm, and they took possession of it. Then we get Dr. Shuffleboard. Now, her name was Shufflebarger, which I spelled it like it sounded. I have no idea. It could be very, I don't know. It's an interesting name, Dr. Shufflebarger. She is an expert educator. It's like she's done everything in education from the ground up She's done it all, and she's now retired, but she works part-time as an expert witness. She will come into courtrooms and say, this educator met the standard of care, or no, they didn't meet the standard of care. And what the plaintiff is looking for is for her to say whether or not people similarly situated in Ebony Parker's position at the time, assistant principal, administration, would have acted a certain way, would and should act a certain way. And this expert was there to say, remember I said they didn't ask that first person that was on the stand. They never got to her opinion about standard of care. She just read to you what was in that emergency manual. But this woman is an expert, and she did have things to say. She said this woman took no action. The first time she hears about this student with a gun, she takes no action. She said it was her job to consider that this was possible. That is her job. She should have considered that a credible threat and gone and done something about it. Secure the child, segregate him from other people, call the police. And now she's saying even after the second notification, now she's really falling below the standard of care because now she's been notified twice. She is still taking no action. She's not calling a student resource officer. She's not calling the police. She's not doing anything with the child. Not calling the parents, nothing. Just, I don't know what her plan was, but we didn't see a plan. So this expert felt that her failure to act was definitely below the standard of care for someone similarly situated in her position. So, in fact, this expert said this was shocking lack of care, shocking lack of reasonable care. Yeah, interesting, huh? Okay, then we get Dr. Daniel Munn. He talked about the trajectory. He's a trauma surgeon. And he I think he does chest work, hearts, lungs, things like that. So he went in to look for the bullet. And the trajectory of the bullet it came into the left side by her hand, and it went down and it fractured the fourth rib. It passed the heart. It missed the heart because it went this way. The heart is actually right here. It missed the aorta by 2 centimeters. So then they showed the jury 2 centimeters. Like this tip is 2 centimeters, I think. Like 2.5 centimeters is 1 inch. Okay. So we're talking about something that's less than an inch from her heart that is sitting there. He said, however, once they got in, they realized this was a very, very difficult place to do surgery to try to remove it, and they were better off leaving it there. Because he says it's a very difficult area to get to, and he felt like she would do fine in the future, except there are some stipulations. He can't predict what's going to happen to her in the future. If sometime in the future she develops some sort of illness where she needs an operation on her chest, they're going to have to accommodate her because her chest, she's got this bullet in there. They're going to have to, it could get dislodged, he said, if she gets maybe into an accident or something, like there's some trauma that shakes it up. It could dislodge it from where it is now. She can't have any MRIs in the future, and because it's metal, she'd be stuck to the machine. Whoosh, that bullet would go. Oh my God! Oh, if you've never seen an MRI when someone comes in with a piece of metal, you do not want to go there. Anyway, so Andy believed that this was a permanent injury. So then, her treatment options in the future, should she develop something in the chest, maybe cancer, I don't know, whatever in the future, her treatment options are limited by the fact that this bullet is sitting there 2 centimeters away from her aorta. So then we get Dr. Rodney Anderson. He is an orthopedic trauma surgeon. He comes in to talk about the hand injury. And I will show you, he put up 2 photographs for the jury. The first one shows all of the broken bones in that left hand, and there were numerous bone fragments everywhere in this hand. Like, it was just, he said this was really, really a mess. A very devastating injury. He said this was very similar to a war injury. In fact, he brought in a buddy of his who specializes in these kind of injuries, and he actually brought him on staff because you can't practice in just any hospital. So they have this trauma alert. They get into the surgery. They realize they need a specialist with his kind of knowledge, and they get him accredited to practice in this hospital so he could assist with this surgery, in which they went in. There were ruptured tendons, bone fragments, tendons ruptured, blood vessels split, nerves transected. It was just a mess. They ended up putting plates and screws in it. And later on, they had to bring in another surgeon to do a special surgery where they did a bone graft from her hip bone. It just sounds so painful. Oh my God. They're taking bone from your hip and putting it into your hand. I've had several hand surgeries, and I got to tell you, man, it's not a joke. It is no joke. And now I watched, please, when you get a chance, go watch her testimony, Abigail Zwerner's testimony. It's very straightforward. There's really no lengthy sidebars, things or anything like that within that testimony. And she talks about what she can and she cannot do. But she's going through some very, very aggressive occupational therapy, which to break up that scar tissue. I mean, this woman has to be a lot of pain. And then in her cross-examination, like, you got to watch this cross-examination. They actually, like, this man, if Abigail Zwerner was not in your corner now, like, if you were not rooting for the plaintiff, you will now when I tell you that the summer after this shooting, she got tickets to go see the Era Tour, and she went. This doesn't mean that you don't enjoy things in life. It just means she needs assistance to do this. She's telling the jury she has social anxiety, but it's Taylor Swift. Hello. You still go. So I guess the plaintiff is trying to say, well, you went to Taylor Swift, so how bad could your social anxiety be? You went to see the Eras Tour. Girl, defense lawyer, come here. Let's talk. Come here a minute. Come here. Let me tell you about Taylor Swift, okay? If you got to go in there in a stretcher, you go, okay? Let me just say that, okay? Okay. We don't mess around with Taylor, okay? We go. If we have tickets, we go. Okay. But the plaintiff also brings out on her cross-examination, you went to school to become a cosmetologist after all this, didn't you? Yep. Scored at the top of your class. Yep. Sent out pictures of your work that you could do to get a job. Yep. Never got a job. She couldn't. She's had 6 surgeries. She cannot hold down a job as a cosmetologist. She said it takes her longer than anybody else to do the hair. She can do it. But she says, all those pictures that I took to get the job, somebody was helping me. And because she scored on the top of her class, she goes, yeah, that was all the written work. I can do written work. I can't do hair very well. So, yeah, she went to cosmetology school. So, and she did take a job for a little while at a gym, just like in the early morning hours to help them out when they were first opening or something. But she said really that was just she wanted to make a commitment. She wanted to have something that she was committed to this to get her up in the morning, have a reason to get out of bed. Because what this woman has been through for the last 2 years, my God, the pain, the anguish, going to the doctors, going to physical therapy, getting these surgeries, 6 surgeries in 2 years is no joke. No joke. So, okay. But what they also plaintiff or what the defense also brought out on cross-examination of this plaintiff is you're the teacher. You have a phone in your classroom, do you not? Yes, I do. Couldn't you have called his parents? Yes, I could have. And she's not being snarky with her responses. She's just answering them because she knows on redirect, her attorney's going to help her out, throw her softball by saying, it wasn't your job to do that, was it? You were watching those other 29 kids or 20 kids that were in your class, but you thought he had a gun. Did you take him away from the other kids? No. You let him finish his lunch, then you took him out to recess, right? With 40 other kids. And then you turned him over to another teacher to watch him. Did you tell the other teacher that maybe he's got a gun? She did. She did. What? Now, this is the same student that a week or so before this, she had to segregate from the other students when he got violent and he tore up her cell phone. Sorry, I need a tissue. I'm fighting a head cold, guys. Sorry. But that's my cue to stop talking. Anyway, so that is day 2. Now we still have day 3, and well, now that most of day 3 is Abigail Zwerner. So I will do the defense case tomorrow, which was what occurred on day 4. So on day 4, Tuesday there was no court. Yesterday there was no court. Today they didn't start until 11 a.m. So they're in the middle of closing arguments, and it's probably 2:15 their time right now. So it may get to a jury this evening. It'll probably sit with that jury for a little while. They've got things to figure out. Past medical expenses, current medical expenses, future medical expenses, past earnings, current earnings, future earnings. What are her losses? What are her medicals? What are her? I don't even know if they've asked for punitive damages. I haven't heard those words come out of anybody's mouth yet. But my understanding is they're asking for 40 million. And I don't think that's an unreasonable sum of money. But I will tell you, I will caution you that she has already settled with many of the plaintiffs. I don't know who the plaintiffs were. So if you're commenting to me that, oh, they should have gone after so-and-so or so-and-so should have done this or this or this, you're probably right. And they probably were sued, but they've all settled. This is just the only defendant that didn't settle. Assistant Principal Ebony Parker. Now, why she would ruin her career by putting herself out there on social media for not settling a case, I don't know. I don't know. But I'd be trying to settle this thing. I really would, because you never know what a jury is going to do. I'd be trying desperately at this point. At this point, this is the day when the jury starts deliberation that you start the conversations going back and forth. Do we want to settle? Is there an offer? Are we going to accept the offer? Are we going to? These negotiations are constantly, and the longer the jury deliberates, the more that will go on. So, all right, I will see you tomorrow's show, because I'm going to go ahead and do day 3, and we'll wait for a verdict. I'm not going to cover the closings live because obviously they're right now. So, but you're going to get it all. By the weekend, you'll have every show to watch, so you can watch it in order on the playlist. And let me know what you think. So have a wonderful day, everybody, and I will see you in the next video. I am going to be live tonight at 7 p.m. Central Time. This is my weekly whip and chat with my girlfriend Joanna, color and chat with Joanna. And we are currently working on, now I don't know if she's currently working on, that remains to be seen. We're gonna have a talk, girl. But currently working on a mystery painting that we don't know what it is. Well, we do because we cheated, but it's one of those paintings where you don't know what it is, and it's just black and white. Everything's black and white, and it's kind of fun. I'm having a good time with it. So come tonight and I'll tell you all about it. All right. Have a great day, everybody. Take care. Bye.